Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea and I have been selling on Etsy for 8 years. And so this YouTube channel is just where we talk about all things Etsy, all things life as an Etsy seller, tips, strategies, and today we're talking about tech. So if you follow me on Instagram extremely closely, you would know that I am a total Mac person. My husband is a total PC person, and we have an ongoing battle about which one is better, but I will never switch. I'm a Mac person. So this video is all about which MacBook should you get for your Etsy shop. Okay, so like I mentioned, my husband's a total PC guy, and so he is the type of guy that like builds his own computers, and he's a total tech geek. He just absolutely loves like computers and building them and stuff. That's not me. I am not a tech geek. I think that Mac is really, really easy to understand, and it is what I've had basically my entire life. Like when I was in high school, we used iPads, and then I switched. I got my first ever like laptop when I went to college. Well, when I went to community college for a year and a half. And that was a MacBook, and I've never switched since. So I will always be a MacBook person just because I'm so familiar with it. That being said, my husband absolutely hates that I spend so much money on MacBooks because he's like, I cannot believe you're getting that computer for that price. MacBooks are overpriced. So if you're on a budget, do know that you can get a PC for a lot less with very, very similar computing powers. I just like very like processing power, just as good of a computer for honestly significantly less. I choose to use them anyway just because I'm so familiar with the software, and I do a few Mac specific softwares like Final Cut Pro 10 I use, and so I choose to pay the extra price for them. But if you are on a budget, do know that a PC might be a better option for you just because Macs definitely are expensive. As a Mac user, I can admit that they do cost significantly more than a PC costs. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I do want to talk about the actual specifics of buying a computer. So the things that you're looking at, the balance that you're always trying to achieve when you're buying a new computer. Today specifically, we're just talking about MacBooks, so this is just laptops. If we were to toss iMacs into this too, it would get way too techy. I'm hoping that this video is not techie, not overwhelming. It's for the people like me who just want to hear the long story short of which computer I should buy. If you're the type of person that really wants a lot of technical information, or you are a techie person, please click away from this video. I don't want to hear the hate comments about the way that I explained. I said it was a better processor when actually it was a better this. This is not a techie video, okay? This is for the people who are like me and are just like, just tell me the answer. So if that's you, please like exit out of this tab and don't leave a comment. So anyways, the balance that you're always trying to achieve whenever you're buying a computer is getting the necessary amount of computing power that you need, but not overkilling it, and also staying within a budget and like not overspending, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm always trying to achieve whenever I buy a new MacBook. I just recently had a screen go out on my MacBook after like 3 years of having it, and I use my computers to no end. Every single day my computers get used all day. So I just recently had a screen go out, and so I just recently had to buy a new MacBook, and so this is fresh on the brain, and they also just released some new ones. So we're going to be talking through all of your options for MacBooks, things you can upgrade if you want to, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about what I got, and yeah, that's going to be this video. So if you are in the market for a new computer and you are considering MacBooks, this is the video for you if you're not overly techie. Okay, so let's start with the standard MacBook option. So basically I'm saying that this is what you would get if you just clicked order on the site and didn't upgrade anything or anything like that. The things you want to pay attention to are the GPU. Almost all of them are called like 8-core GPUs. There's a few that have 10-core GPUs. Basically, this is just part of the computer's chip and overall makes it perform better. 10 is better than 8. Not like an insane amount better, but it is better. I called my husband and asked him, I was like, what would it be worth? And he was like, well, Mac numbers are weird. But he said probably about $100 for an extra, like, for the jump from 8 to 10. you'll see a difference, but it's not like it's insane. The next thing you want to pay attention to is the solid state drive or SSD storage. This is something that massively depends on what you use your computer for. Just like everything depends on what you use your computer for, but I always try and get a 512 gigabyte solid state, which is usually an upgrade. Usually they come standard with 256. The last MacBook I had, I forgot to order the upgraded part, and so that was a bummer. However, I did live with it. It's fine, but this one I did opt to get the 512 just because I am, like I've mentioned on this channel before, I photograph some weddings, I do a lot of video, and those files are really big, and so they take up a lot of space, and it is not super easy to change out MacBook storage on your own. So that's something to look at, is the solid state drive storage. And then the memory, I used to get this confused with the solid state drive. Your memory is like, I think it's your processor, I don't really know. They'll come in like 8, 16, 32. 8 gigabyte is basically what it's going to come standard. 16 is better. 32 would be an overkill for almost anybody unless you're doing like really, really intense stuff, which I'm assuming that Etsy sellers are not doing. So my computer has 16. I'm going to go into all of this, but basically you're looking for 8, 16. 16 would be an upgrade. 8 would be totally fine. When it comes to the actual options that you have just on computers, you really only have 5 options. So we're just gonna dive into each one of those. The first option that you have is the MacBook Air M1. This MacBook Air costs right about $1,000. It's basically just the M1 is the older chip, and so they just released a new MacBook with the M2. The M1 has a little bit less powerful of a chip, comes standard with 256 gigabytes of solid state drive. Sorry, I had to glance down to make sure I was right about that. 256 gigabytes of solid state drive and 8 gigabytes of memory. Basically, it's a pretty good computer if you're not going to be doing a ton of software intensive stuff. So like if you were just gonna be listing stuff on Etsy, this would be a great option. However, if you're buying new right now, I really would recommend just getting the MacBook Air M2, which is your second option for a MacBook that you have. And that's just the MacBook Air with a better chip. So you have kind of 2 options. The reason why I always recommend buying the better chip if it's available is because they're really not that much more. And that means that all the Apple softwares are being catered towards that chip. It's a better, newer chip. And so if you were buying new right now, that's what I would get. I would not sell an M1 chip to get the M2 chip. It's not that much better. But if you're gonna get a new computer, I personally would just pay the extra money to have the M2 just because it's the most recent chip. You have 2 options with the M2, and that is one that costs $1,200 and one that costs $1,500. The $1,500 comes with the more GPU, so slightly better performance, and that upgraded storage. So 512 gigabytes of storage. If it was me, I don't know that I would pay for that. I would maybe just upgrade the storage on the cheaper one, but I don't know, it would depend on price. But basically what you're getting for the more expensive M2 chip is a little bit more storage and a little bit better performance. So that covers your MacBook Airs. Now we're gonna move into the MacBook Pro series. The MacBook Pro series is generally regarded as like the better series. For more, like, I guess they say it's MacBook Pro because it's for professionals. So we're looking at people who use their computer for a lot of software intensive stuff and a lot of work. The first option that you have is the MacBook Pro 13, and it costs $1,300. This has the better M2 chip, but only comes with the 256 gigabytes of storage, and it has a touch bar. Have you ever used a MacBook with a touch bar? You might love it. My last MacBook had a touch bar and I just could not wait to get rid of it. I hated that thing. I always accidentally clicked it. You never actually use it. But that is me giving you my personal rather negative opinion. So if you think a touch bar sounds cool, you would be good to get the MacBook Pro 13. Basically what you're getting, this computer is extremely similar to the MacBook Air. It's the same screen size. MacBook Airs are 13 inches. MacBook Pro 13 is obviously 13 inches. What you're getting whenever you buy the MacBook Pro over getting the MacBook Air is a slightly better chip and a touch bar for $100 more. That's what you're paying the extra $100 for, is just that slightly better chip and a touch bar. So that would maybe be a really good option. Yeah, if I was going back and those are my options, I'd probably choose the MacBook Pro 13 over the MacBook Air M2. But just because the price gap used to be bigger, but it's not anymore. That's probably what I would pick, but I would maybe not do that because I think it's worth $100 to me to not have the touch bar. But that is besides the point. That's what you're getting with the MacBook Pro 13. The MacBook Pro 14 and 16, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on. They're come in right at like $2,000 and $2,500 respectively. The reason why I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on them is because honestly, if you are an Etsy seller, that will be an overkill almost always. These computers are designed for people who are like wedding photographers, wedding videographers, running very, very heavy softwares every single day on their computer. They have a really, really good chip. It's called the M1 Pro. Very, very good computer. They compute really, really well. However, I can't in good truth tell you that it would be worth it for an Etsy seller to get one because that would just be way overkill. If you're looking for a way bigger screen, this is the only way to get one. So the 13-inch, you're going to get a 13-inch screen unless you buy the 14 or 16-inch screen. But I personally would sacrifice the screen size to go down almost half, less than half. For that 16-inch screen, it's just $2,500. It's insane unless you're going to use it. If you're going to use it, like one of my best friends is a wedding photographer. She has a MacBook Pro 16. Absolutely loves it because she's in Adobe Lightroom, which is a pretty heavy software all day, every day, basically. And so it's perfect for her. However, for Etsy sellers, it's probably not the best investment of money. I'd rather take that $1,000 and put it somewhere else in my shop. Okay, so those are your MacBook options. I really, really hope that that wasn't too techy and it was really easy to understand. I really do try and break down every concept really simply on this YouTube channel. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but those are your standard options. You can upgrade almost anything: solid state drive storage, memory, CPUs, GPUs, basically anything you can upgrade. I do want to talk about what I chose and buying refurbished. So if you are on a little bit tighter of a budget and all of these seem out of budget, I would definitely recommend checking out the refurbished page on Apple. They are certified refurbished MacBooks, iMacs, really anything that Apple has certified, like, yep, this is going to be a reliable computer. I actually bought my MacBook and my iMac on the refurbished page. And the good thing about refurbished, especially nowadays, is that they are not backed up because they're computers that they already have in storage, which is why I bought my MacBook that way, because there was going to be a 2-month wait on the MacBook that I wanted, or I could just get a refurbished model and have it shipped the next day. So refurbished is a very good budget-friendly option. I do want to talk to you guys about what I chose for my computer. So right now I have the refurbished 13-inch MacBook Air with the M1 chip. I upgraded the GPU, so 8-core GPU, and I have the 512 gigabyte solid state drive. So that is the 2020 model. Again, like I said, I had to order the refurbished because it was going to take so long for it to get in, but I absolutely love this computer. I've had really, really good luck with it. It processes really well. I side hustle as a wedding photographer, which I've definitely talked about this on this channel before because I came from wedding photography and switched into Etsy. Anyways, I edit weddings on this computer and it is no problem at all. It handles it really well. So I'm really, really glad that I got this computer. I really, really like it. If I was buying it now, I would probably buy the MacBook Pro 13 and upgrade the solid state drive storage to 512. But I really like this computer a lot. It's been really, really good for me. And so if you're on a budget, this would be I think this is actually one of the cheapest MacBooks they sell, the MacBook Pro Air, or the MacBook Air with the M1. So I really like it. Yeah, that is the MacBook options that you have. I really hope this video was helpful. If you are in a phase of business where you're like, I need a new computer, but I don't know what to get, I hope that this video was helpful as you make your decision. As always, if you are interested in growing on Etsy, please hang out around this channel. We talk about all things like this, tech or Etsy strategy, life of an Etsy seller 2 times a week on this channel. And so make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.